Hello everyone, I'm Tracy. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing the similarities that I picked out between the fire in Maui and the recent LA fires. So I'll be showing back-to-back photos because I've been hearing a lot of channels talking about LA and saying, oh, that's just like Maui, I think. And I just wanted to set the record straight and say that yes, these two events are very, very similar. So I'll start out with the aerial views of the two areas. This is Lahaina. As you can see, the structures are reduced to white ash, and we see that that's kind of like a hallmark of these uh, recent events. And here's Paradise. I mean, not Paradise, Palisades. Paradise looks like this as well, but this is the Palisades aerial view. As you can see, almost every structure is reduced to ash. And something else that we see in both of these incidences is that the trees are still standing. And I did a video with Robert Brame. I'll link it in the description, or actually I'll put it at the end screen. So if you haven't seen that video, it'll explain exactly how this happens, how a structure is destroyed and the trees are still standing. All right, and then another similarity is the damage to the cars. They look very similar. As we can see, the glass is almost always melted, and the engine blocks are often melted and gone, as well as the hood of the car. And you see the melted glass. I believe this is Palisades or Altadena. Here's another melted glass photo. And glass melts at a very high temperature, higher than any brush or forest fire does. Here's an example from Maui. This car with the missing windows, and yeah, the paint's completely gone. And this is from Maui. So again, we saw this melted metal very often in Maui. And here's a photo courtesy of Eris West at Hawaii Real Estate. He has a really amazing channel. He's the one that's on the ground that got a lot of footage and images of the damage. And you can see here the rim of this car, it turned into liquid. So it liquefied, and that requires a very high sustained heat source. So it is kind of unusual because we don't see a lot of, I don't think there was a lot of grass under here. I could be wrong, but this car has seen very, very severe damage that would be indicative of a very high temperature fire. Here is the engine block from Maui with the hood missing. Again, more pictures of the cars in Maui. I believe this is Front Street. This is where people got stuck in a traffic jam. There was also a traffic jam in the Palisades, but I wouldn't say they were very similar, just that cars got backed up at some point. Also, there was no water in both cases, but yeah, that one's a little bit harder to explain, but there were, in both cases, no water to put the fire out. Okay, and then the next topic that I'm hearing a lot of people make the connection is the blue items that survived. So this is Lahaina, Front Street, and you can see this blue, I think it's a Ford Focus. So the other cars are completely torched, and that blue car stayed in pretty good shape. Even the lights are on. You can see the lights here. It could probably be driven away, possibly, but you see the part, everything is still intact and the glass is still there. The only thing that melted was the plastic siding, and that's probably from radiative heat. You see it right here. All right, and then so now I'm gonna go, there are so many examples of this. I'm not even gonna cover them all, but the blue items from LA house in Altadena, and it was amongst a neighborhood that was destroyed, but this blue house survived. And you can actually go to KTLA or KCAL and hear the story. And the family says that they saw the fire coming, they evacuated, But when they came back, the house was still in great shape and everything inside was just as they left it. And that's what they said. Their garage did burn down and was destroyed, but their blue house still stands. I believe this is the Palisades, so we can see almost everything is burned except the blue ping pong table. And many, many blue bins were left in areas that you would think would be melted, because you see this truck here is completely torched, but nearby these blue bins are still there, and they're plastic, so plastic melts pretty easily, but these seem to have, I don't know, survived very well. And then this is one of those examples that are very convincing, and this is courtesy of Eris West again. He was going through the aftermath and he found these blue shirts, and this is how he found them. He filmed this when he found them. They were still folded, so they're amongst everything that was burned. But these shirts, they didn't even have a hole. They weren't singed. They were just dirty. But I mean, how does that happen? They're not burned at all, and everything else around it is burned. Okay, and then we see these blue umbrellas outside of Tommy, Bahama. And you would think it's so close to, everything that got destroyed, but they are still in very good shape. And then this is from the Palisades. This is Cafe Vita. I've actually been here. I remember these green umbrellas, and as you can see, they're in pretty good shape. Also, they're made out of fabric, so they're talking about embers and the fire blowing around. You would think it would have hit these. And then this was interesting because, not necessarily because it was red, but red does seem to be a very resilient color. Resilient color in these fires. But if you look at like how much destruction there is on the left, and then this umbrella looks like it might have been melted, so maybe there was it was plastic, but it's in pretty good shape considering it's either made out of fabric or plastic, and you would think that would be one of the first things to go, but it's still there. Okay, now we're going to go back to Maui. This is a tennis court. The blue sign is still in really good shape. And now we're going to talk about another topic, and that is how the electrical grid seems to have been affected a lot more than you would expect. So here is a aerial view of the Palisades, and the utility company is actually taking out the transformer that burned underground. So the underground transformer managed to burn, and it looks like it might have exploded. And they were taking it out and inspecting it. And here is from the Emerald Plaza in Lahaina. So the smart meters were completely melted. And what makes this unusual is that the surrounding area, these whatever they're in, are still in good shape. The structure that is behind it was mainly metal, and it was completely twisted and warped. But by looking at the damage here, it seems like the heat was being conducted through the wiring and then came out this way, indicating it was an electrical source. Here's the same place. This is from the Emerald Plaza. And another similarity is the strong movements that are associated with these events. There was a Lahaina Strong. There was also a group called Maui Strong, and they raised a lot of money early on. They raised about $190 million. Lahaina Strong is more of a grassroots group that was instrumental in banning the short-term rentals in West Maui. And we have an LA Strong. So LA Strong, the motto is return and rebuild. I think it was Maui Strong, burn back better, or build back better. That was from Biden at the time he said that. And and Mayor Bass is appointing Steve Soberoff to lead the rebuilding efforts, and he was a police commissioner previously. All right, and then here is the last, but probably the most important similarity, and that is the fact that these areas have a smart city plan. And I did a video last year about the plans that Maui had for West Maui and then the burn patterns, and we do a comparison in this video. So if you want to hear more about that, you can watch that video. But basically, these events tend to align very closely with these globalist smart city plans. And LA's had one for some time. This was released in December 2020, and they call this Smart LA 2028. 28 is the Olympics. They're coming to LA. And Shane is working on a video where he's going to be going through the details of the Smart LA plan. And yeah, a lot of very revealing things that he is finding. So be looking out for that video. And if you have not subscribed, please do so before you leave, and like, comment, and share this video, especially if you know people in the LA area. I think it's essential that people in Southern California are aware of what the government has set forth as far as the redevelopment of LA. It involves the changing of, I guess, taking away like single family homes and building mixed use apartments, and then also the metro and the rail systems that are being worked on right now. Some of them are completed, but there is a lot more. What did I put that one? There's a lot more to be done, and Shane's going to go into that in a video, hopefully this week. So I'm really excited to see what he finds there. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.